Okay. Okay. Okay, Buddha. Today we are going to discuss about how to find the units of an unknown physical quantity in an equation. Up to now we know how to find dimensions of unknown physical quantity in an equation. Now we are going to use dimensional analysis, Buddha. Now we are going to use dimensional analysis to determine the units of an unknown physical quantity. So my question is, suppose we are given this kind of equation. This is the first equation we did in previous lesson. So suppose we are given this kind of equation. Okay. And those terms F and M are known. F is a force and M is a mass. My question is, how to use dimensional analysis? How to use dimensional analysis to find the unit of Z? How to find that? How to use the dimensional analysis? How to use dimensional analysis? In this case, the first thing we have to do is we have to find the dimension of Z. We have to find the dimension of Z. Actually, we did that thing. So I can use that answer. According to the equation. Z should be a acceleration. So the dimension of Z is LT minus 2. LT minus 2. So according to the dimension of this physical quantity, L is a length, T is a time. L is a length and T is a time. So if this symbol is a length, you know the SI unit of length. What is that one? It is meter, no? Okay, we know the SI unit of meter and we know the SI unit of length and SI unit of time. So we have to assign those SI unit to this dimensional equation, dimensional expression. So we can measure length using the SI unit meter. And we can measure the time using the SI unit of seconds. So ms minus 2 is the SI unit of Z. SI unit of Z. So it is very easy thing. We have to assign the SI units of dimensional expression to get the SI unit of given physical quantity. Suppose we are given this kind of physical quantity. The dimension of Z is equal M L squared T minus 2. Suppose this one. Suppose we are given this kind of physical quantity and we are asked to find the unit of Z. How to do that? According to dimensions of unit, according to dimensions of Z, there are three physical quantities combined with Z. What are those? Mass, length, and time. You have to assign the SI unit of these three physical quantity to the dimensional expressions. That's only. So mass is measured by kilogram, length is measured by meter. There are three lengths, so M is third, M cube. Then T is measured by time. Second. So the SI unit of Z is equal to kilogram M3 S to the power minus 2. Okay. Do you understand how to do that? තේරුණාද? I need your response. Very good. Others? First thing we have to do, the first thing we have to find the dimensions of the given physical quantity. That is the first step. After that, we have to assign respective SI units for each term in dimensional expression. That is the way of determining the SI unit of an unknown physical quantity. Okay. Okay. Write the third application. Write the third application. Third application. Write the topic. Determining the unit of an unknown physical quantity. Determine the unit of an unknown physical quantity. Okay. Okay, under that topic, write this one. We have to use the following steps. To determine the unit of an unknown physical quantity. The unit of an unknown physical quantity. Okay. Step one. Determine the dimensions of the given physical quantity. Determine the dimensions of the given physical quantity. Step two. Assign assign the respective SI units. The respective SI units for the physical quantities, for the physical quantities mentioned in the dimensional expression. Mentioned in the dimensional expression. Okay, note down these two examples. Okay. Shall we do some examples? Okay. Okay, shall we do a question? I mean, up to question number 6. Up to question number 6. You don't want to find dimensions again. Okay, you can use the dimensions. You can use the answers of these questions. Okay. අපි කලින් කරලා තියෙන නිසා ආයෙත් මේකේ dimensions හොයන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ඒ dimensions වල තියෙන answers ටික ඔයගොල්ලෝ use කරන්න. use කළා මේ වගේ units fan. So you can use the dimensions, the answers of these dimensions, and find the units of the given terms. Okay, let's do up to question number 6. Up to question number 6. Number 2, dimension of z. Dimension of z is m. Number 3, okay. කලින් ක්ලාස් ආවෙ නැති කවුරු හරි මොකක් හරි මේ ඒකේ ලෞතං ආව කවුරු හරි ඉන්නවා නම් මේ dimensions ටික use කරන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, those are the dimensions of the given physical quantities. Okay. Shall we discuss? So what is the answer for question number 2? In this case, there's only mass. No, only mass. So the units of Z. Unit of Z is equal kg. So what is the answer for question number 2, 3? So we have to assign kilogram for M for L, S for T. Okay. So answer is kg minus 1 M to the power 3 S to the power minus 2. In this case, we have to take the highest power to the front, okay? As this is a unit. So M is squared, kg minus 1 is minus 2. So this is the unit of G. Then the unit of T means time. Time is measured by seconds. So unit of Z is equal S. Then, so what is the unit of Y? What is the unit of Y? Y. What is the unit of Y? Question number 5. Give me the answer. කියන්න කවුරු හරි. මොකද්ද මේක unit එක කොහොමද ගන්නෙ? Yes. ms minus 1 we have to assign meter for L and S for T. So unit of Y කියලා ලියන්න එක හොඳයි. නිකම්ම දාන්න එපා. Unit of Y is equal M S minus 1. MS minus 1. Then unit of Z is equal meter. In this case, there is L only. Okay. අතරම අපිට මේ වැඩේ කරන්න පුළුවන් පුතේ මේ ඕනි එකකට අපිට ඕනි එකක ඩිමෙන්ෂන් එක හොයලා ඩිමෙන්ෂන් එකට මේ ටික අසයින් කරන්න විතරයි තියෙන්නේ ඕනිම මේ එකකට. හැබැයි එක තැනකදී ආරෙන්න. So we have to do this one for every cases, but there's a situation, there's a special case. There's a special case. I will give you an example. Okay. Suppose we are given this kind of equation. Y is equal sine bt. Y is equal sine bt. Y is equal sine bt. Okay. Suppose we are given this kind of equation. Now you are asked to find the units of B. You are asked to find the units of B. How to find that one? How to find the dimensions of, sorry, not the units of B. Can anyone tell me? Taggal කියන answer එක. How to find the units of B? Can anyone give me the answer? Give me the answer. Units of B. So what is the dimension of B, puta? What is the dimension of B? Dimension of B. Ko kiyanna kattiya. So what is the dimension of B? Suppose T is a time. T is a time, okay? T is a time. Suppose T is a time. So if T is a time, so dimension of B, puta, B.
So there is no dimension, sir, because it's sin B.
So dimension of B is T minus 1, no?
Yes, sir.
T minus 1. Okay. So what is the unit of B? What is the unit of B? What is the unit of B?
S minus 1.
S minus 1. Is it S minus 1? No. Because this is an angle, puta. ඒක තමයි මම මුලින්දලම කිව්වේ අපි හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ sin කියන එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන පුතේ unit එක නැතුණාට ඒක angle එකක්. Sorry. Dimension එක නැතුණාට ඒක angle එකක්. So this is an angle BT. BT is an angle, puta. So BT is an angle. So there is a unit for BT. No, what is that one? What is that one? It is radian. It is radian. So in this case, this kind of case, we cannot assign the unit. We cannot assign the unit. Well, we cannot assign the SI unit for the dimensional expressions. Okay, because in this case, BT is an angle. So if we are given trigonometric expression, if we are given trigonometric function, inside that function, there should be an angle. There should be an angle. So you know the unit of angle. The unit of angle is radian. Although it doesn't have a dimension, it has a unit. It has a unit. That is the special case in this analysis. ඒක තමයි තියෙන special case එක මේ analysis එකේ හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න trigonometric function එකක් දුන්නොත් ඒ function එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන පුතේ angle එකක්. So angle එකක් measure කරන්නේ radian වලින්. ඒක නිසා අන්න ඒක use කරන්න වෙනවාට. Okay. So in this case we know B into T is angle. So the unit of B into T, therefore unit of B into T is equal radian. And you know the dimension of T. T is a time, no? T is a time. So the unit of B into T means time, is equal radian. No? Therefore, unit of B equal, you have to subject this one, unit of B, so it is equal radian per second. තේරුණාද ගත්ත විදිය? So you can use the same method unless it is a trigonometric function. If it is a trigonometric function, there should be an angle. There should be an angle within that function. Okay. So although an angle doesn't have a dimension, it has a unit. It has a unit. It is radian. That is the only specific case in this method. So BT, the dimensions, BT is angle. So unit of BT is equal to radian. So unit of B into unit of T. Unit of T means time is equal radian. Now you can subject unit of B. So it is equal radian per second. Do you understand? Everyone? Good. Others? Others? Okay. Okay. So we have to write that one as a note. Okay. This is a knot. This is a knot, a special knot. Right under the knot. Right under the knot. Don't write this one. First, we have to write a knot. The previous method is valid. The previous method is valid. Is valid. Unless the given physical quantity, unless the given physical quantity unless the given physical quantity is in a trigonometric function, is in a trigonometric function. If there is a trigonometric function, if there is a trigonometric function, the expression within the trigonometric function, the expression within the trigonometric function should be an angle, although the angles haven't dimensioned, they have a unit, they have a unit which is radian, they have a unit which is radian. So we have to consider that during the determination of unit, during the determination of unit of an unknown physical quantity, Okay, you can write this example.
So can you repeat that? So we have to consider that.
Sorry, Buddha.
So can you repeat the last line? So we have to consider that.
So we have to consider that during the determination of an unknown physical quantity, sorry, so we have to determine that during the determination of unit of unknown physical quantity, the unit of an unknown physical quantity.
Okay, sir, got it.
Okay. Then after that, you can write this example. You can write this example. හරිද? First do the question 22, last one. Last one. Find the units of A, B, and C. Find the unit of A, B, and C. Find the units of A, B, and C. the dimension of A is equal to L. The dimension of B is equal to T minus 1. The dimension of C is 1. No dimension. Those are the answers of dimensional analysis. Either you can use this one or you can use the inverse method to determine the dimensions of to determine the units of A, B, C. Okay. තග්ගල් කරලා මට උත්තරේ දෙන්න. කාටරි ඕන dimensions මේක use කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් A වල dimension එක L, B වල dimension එක T minus 1, C වල dimensions no dimension, no? So what is the dimension of A? Everyone, what is the dimension of A? Meter. So not dimension, units. Unit of A is meter because A is not inside the trigonometric function. So we can use the dimension of L to determine the dimension of A to determine the units of A. It is same. So what is the dimension of B? Sorry, unit of B. Sorry. Unit of B. Unit of B. Unit of B. Unit of B. ෂෙයා කරන්න ගයි. Unit of B කියන්නේ
Rad per second.
Hmm?
Rad per second. Radian
rad per
second.
second, radian per second. Yes, very good. Radian per
So the
second.
square of that, right? The square of that, right? Because it's signed to.
Sorry?
It's since it's signed to the power of 2. It's
No.
square.
Although it is a square, the inside that function there should be angle, පුතා. So BT is an angle. BT is an angle. So
Yes.
B is radian per second. So what is the dimension of C? Dimension of C?
The same dimension. The
Not
same.
same. Oh, yeah.
Radian per second.
Yeah, radian per second. Radian per second. Very good. Oh, no, not radian per second. Radian, no? Radian. So this is BT, no, puta. BT means radian. This is should be angle. This should be angle. Radian. Okay, I will explain. Okay, we are given this kind of equation equal half m omega squared a squared sin squared bt plus c dt plus c. In this case, we have find the dimensions of b and c. Find the dimensions of b and c. So this should be an angle, Buddha. This should be an angle because inside the trigonometric function, there should be an angle. There should be an angle. So BT is angle. C also angle. C also angle. That's why the dimension of C is 1. Okay. C also angle. So BT is angle. C is angle. So dimension, sorry, unit of B into unit of T. Unit of T means second. E should be equal to the unit of angle. Unit of angle. Units of angle. So what is the unit of angle? It is equal to radian. It is equal to radian. So unit of B into second equal radian. So unit of B is equal radian per second. So unit of B, I have to subject this one. If I subject this one, I have to bring S to my right hand side. So we will find radian per second. Radian per second. Then C. C is angle. C is angle. C is angle. So as C is angle, unit of C should be equal to radian. Radian is equal to everyone. Do you get my point? Hmm? No response. Do you get my point? Do you understand, Puta?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Very good. I will explain. Then sin square එකත් තිබ්බ එක පටලව ගන්න එපා. ඔන්න. This is my given equation, half m omega squared a squared sin squared bt plus c. bt plus c. So if we are given sin squared theta, so what is the meaning of this one? The meaning of this one means sin theta is multiplied with sin theta again. Sin theta is multiplied by sin theta. That is the meaning of this. Sin square is, the sin square is two sine functions. So inside that function, theta should be angle. So we don't want to expand that function. that function. Here, this part is inside the trigonometric function. This part, bt plus c, is inside the trigonometric function. So it should be angle. So that is the way we determine the dimensions of b and c. No, that is the way how we determine the dimension of b and c. Because bt plus c is an angle. This expression should be angle. If this expression should be angle, all the terms of this equation should have same dimension. All the terms of this expression, this equation should have same dimension. So BT should be angle and C also angle. Also angle. So unit, then now we can determine the units. So we can use this equation to determine the units. So unit of B into unit of T should be equal unit of angle. Unit of angle. I have used this equation. Because B into T is equal angle. B into T is equal angle. So unit of B into unit of T should be the unit of angle. Now I can assign units of each physical quantity here. I don't know the unit of B. I don't know this one. I have to find that one. So I can keep this one and I can assign value of these two, values of these two. So unit of T means second, unit of angle is equal to rad, radian. So unit of B, now I can subject unit of B. So if I want to subject unit of B, I have to bring this S to this side. If I bring this S to this side, it will be S minus 1. So radian per second. Do you understand that now? හරිද? Everyone, දැන් මේක තේරුණා? Do you understand now? අද මොකෝ කට්ටිය
Yes, sir.
නිකන් තක්කු මුක්කු වෙලා. Okay, very good. Then you can use this one, Puta. So this is my first equation. I can use this equation to find the unit of C. So unit of C is equal, C is equal angle. So unit of C should be equal unit of angle. So unit of C is equal unit of angle. I can substitute unit of angle here. That is radian. So unit of C should be equal to radian. තේරුණාද? Everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good. You can write this one, okay? Okay, පුතා. Okay, you can do question number 19 and 21. Don't do question number 20. I will explain that one. Don't do 20, question number 20. Do the question number 20, sorry, 21 and 19. Question number 21 and 19. Just find the units. If you don't want to find the dimension, you can use the answers we did previously. everyone. So what is the answer for question number 19? The unit of A. Unit of A. Yeah, it is M, meter. Because the dimension of A is equal L, so it is meter, because it is not a physical quantity which is inside a trigonometric function. So we can use that one as a. So what is the dimension of B, Puta? B? Yeah, radian per second, radian per second. Radian per second, because BT is an angle. So unit of B into unit of T should be the unit of angle. So unit of B into S is equal to radian. Then unit of B is radian per second. The same way that we did in the previous question. So what is the dimension of A in question number 21? Question number 21. What is the answer for A? Unit of A. Meter, that is correct. Unit of B, again, radian per second. Radian per second. Okay. Okay. මෙතන මම question number 20 එක මම කරේ නෑ පුතේ. කරේ නැති හේතුව මේකයි. එතන අපිට වෙනම definition එකක් තියෙන්නේ. ඒක ඕගොල්ලන්ට third lesson එක කරනකොට එනවා. third lesson එක කරනකොට ඕගොල්ලන්ට මම කියා දෙන්නම් මේක. මේක වෙනම definition එකක් තියෙන්නේ. මෙතන මේ තිබ්බ උනාට මෙතන ඕගොල්ලෝ ගත්තේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට B වලට ආවේ M, K වලට ආවේ MT-1. වාට ඒ දෙක යූස් කරලා මේගොල්ලන්ගේ යුනිට්ස් වන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ B කියන්නේ kg, ඒ කියන්නේ mass එකක්. මේක kg per square second කියලා එන්නේ. මෙතන රේඩියන් එකක් යූස් කරන්නේ මම ඒකට හේතුව කියන්නම් යුනිට් නම්බර් 3 කියලා. හරි? මේක ස්පෙෂල් කේස් එකක්. ඒවා අපිට කොහොමත් අපිට සාමාන්‍ය A level exam එකකට අහනකොට අපි ඔක්කොම ඉගෙනගෙන යහන්නේ. ඒක නිසා අපිට එතනදී A level exam එකේදී ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් දැන්ට මම ඒ කැල ස්කිප් කරනවා යුනිට් නම්බර් 3 එකට එනකම්. හරි? හොඳයි. Okay, do you have any question up to now? Do you have any question up to now? Okay, then we can go to the next application. The next application is fourth one, no? Building relationship. Building relationships between given physical quantities. Building relationships between given physical quantity. Between given physical quantity. That means, suppose we are given few physical quantities and we are asked to build a relationship between them. In this case, we can use dimensional analysis to build a relationship between given physical quantities. It is something like that. Suppose we are given the force. The force depends on mass and acceleration. We are given the force depends on mass and acceleration, and asked to build a relationship between those three physical quantities. Then we can use dimensional analysis to build those relationships. Okay. So Before we studying the way of deriving a relationship, we should understand few relationship between given quantities. Actually මේක මං හිතන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝ all වලට කරලා තියෙන මේ relationships ගැන මම පොඩ්ඩක් ආයෙ මතක් කරන්නම්. මොනවද මේ relationships කියන්නේ? Direct proportionality and indirect proportionality. Okay. The first thing, our objective is building relationship between given physical quantities. That is our objective, puta. Okay. Before we doing that one, now we have to refresh our memory in all of us. Okay. In all of us, I think we have learned two relationships between given quantities, not physical quantities, given quantities. We have learned that relationships. There were two relationships. First thing is direct proportionality. The second thing is indirect proportionality. I think I have discussed this one in our first class. Okay. Can anyone tell me? So what is the definition of direct proportionality and what is the definition of indirect proportionality? කියන්න බලන්න කවුරු හරි. මොකක්ද direct proportionality කියලා කියන්නේ? Direct proportionality. This is our main topic. Under that main topic, now we are going to discuss about direct proportionality. So what is direct proportionality? How to identify that one? How to identify that one? Direct proportionality. කාටද කියන්න පුළුවන්ද? වර්ධුනට කමන්නේ ආන්සර් එක දෙන්න. Direct proportionality. Suppose we are given two quantities x and y. We are given two quantities x and y, and suppose they are directly proportional. They said those two quantities are directly proportional. So what is the characteristic of direct proportionality? What is the characteristic? This is case 1, case 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The case 2. 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6. Okay. Both cases, when x increases, y also increases, no? When x increases, y increases too. My question is, are these two quantities directly proportional? Or are these physical quantities, are these two quantities directly proportional? Case 1 එක directly proportional ද, case 2 එක directly proportional ද, නැත්නම් cases දෙකම directly proportional ද? ටක් ගාලා කියන්න. This is all level. This is all maths, okay?
Case 2.
Case 2. So what is the reason? Why? In case 1, when x increases, y also increases, no? Why didn't you choose case 1?
But the ratio is different.
Sorry?
The ratio between the two, like, the values are different. So in
That is the
case 2,
answer.
the multiple is the same.
Yes, that is the answer. When two physical quantities are directly proportional, the ratio between those two physical quantities should be constant. That is the definition. If the ratio between two physical quantities, if the ratio between two physical quantities is a constant, then those two physical quantities will be directly proportional. තේරුණාද? So in this case, first thing, y over x over y is 1 over 3. The second one, x over y is 2 over 4. X over y, in that case, 3 over 5. So those are different answers, no, not a constant. But in this case, x over y is half. X over y is half in the first case. Second case, x over y, 2 over 4. 2 over 4 means also is equal to half. The third case, 3 over 6. 3 over 6 means it is equal to half too. No? So in this case, x over y is a constant, Putta. Is a constant that is equal to half. So this kind of cases, that means the ratio between two physical quantities is a constant. These kind of cases are called as directly proportional cases. Okay. So if any physical quantities, not a physical quantities, if any quantities are directly proportional, that means the ratio of those two physical quantities is a constant. That is the definition. Okay. Normally, the directly proportionality can be represented symbolically as this mark. This is the symbol of proportionality. The symbol of proportionality. මේ මාළුවෙක් වගේ ඉන්නේ. ඒක තමයි proportionality කියන එකේ symbol එක. This is the symbol of proportionality. Okay, this is a symbol of proportionality, Putta. But if we want to do some calculations among these two physical quantities, we cannot keep this symbol. Because we do not know how to deal with them. How to deal with this symbol, we do not know. So we can replace this symbol by equal mark. Using the definition of direct proportionality. So what is the definition of direct proportionality? If these two are directly proportional, the ratio between these two, the ratio between x and y should be a constant. So the ratio between x and y should be a constant. Okay, it's a constant. So I can use this definition. To replace this symbol. to replace this symbol, because if these two physical quantities are directly proportional, the ratio between them equal to a constant. So x is equal to ky. X is equal to ky. We can write, we can do the cross multiplication, and we can write x is equal to ky. So that means if x directly proportional y, we can write that one. If x directly proportional y, we can write that one x equal ky. So we can replace the directly proportional symbol by equal and constant mark. Okay. Actually, this is a definition of this proportionality. Okay. So this is the definition. If x directly proportional y, that means x is equal to ky. K is a constant. Normally we call this constant as constant of proportionality. This is called as constant of proportionality. Constant of proportionality or proportional constant, both can be used. Normally we call as constant of proportionality or proportional constant. Okay. Do you understand? So what is the definition of directly proportionality? If the ratio of any two physical quantities is a constant, then those two physical quantities will be directly proportional to each other. Okay, that is the definition of directly proportionality. Normally we can represent a directly proportionality using this symbol x. If there is this kind of relationship, that means x directly proportional to y. Okay. So if there's this kind of symbol, actually we cannot deal with this symbol. We cannot do any calculation with this symbol. So we have to replace that symbol using a equal mark, because we can deal with the equation. We can deal with an equation. No, we know everything with equations, but we cannot do any calculation using this with this symbol. So I can use the definition of direct proportionality to replace this symbol. So what is the definition of that one? X over y is a constant. If x directly proportional to y, the ratio between these two physical quantities should be a constant. That means I can subject x. If I subject x, x is equal to ky. So if x directly proportional to y, then I can write x equal constant into y. This constant is called as the constant of proportionality or proportional constant. Okay. Do you understand this one? Do you understand? Everyone? Give me a response.
Yes, sir.
Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay. Write the main topic. Application number 4, building relationship between given physical quantities. That is our main topic. Under that topic, the subtopic is direct proportionality. Direct proportionality. Subtopic is direct proportionality. Under that subtopic, write this paragraph. If two quantities are directly proportional, if two quantities are directly proportional, the ratio between those two physical quantities should be a constant. Okay, you can write this one. X මේකේ තේරුම තමයි x directly proportional to y. X directly proportional to y. Y තියෙන මෙතන. This is the symbol of proportionality. So we can write this one as a ratio you can write an example. X over y. It's half. After this level, you can write this example too. හරිද? Shall I erase this one? මම කන්නද මේක? ලියනවද කට්ටිය?
Okay, sir. We're done.
හරි. Okay. The second relationship is indirectly proportionality. The second relationship is indirectly proportionality. Indirectly proportionality. Indirect. Proportionality. මොකක්ද indirect proportionality කියලා කියන්නේ? What is an indirect proportionality? I think you have done a lot of questions in this topic in your honours. No? Indirect proportionality. You have done human race and such kind of questions in honours. No? Indirect proportionality का unit tag में තිබ්බනේ නේද? So, what is the meaning of indirect proportionality? Everyone? මොකද්ද මේකේ meaning එක? So, what is the definition of indirect proportionality, Buddha? What is the definition? Yeah, the same way, the same way. Okay. Okay. Suppose there are two cases. Suppose there are two cases like this. Like this. X, Y. This is the case 1 and case 2. X, Y. Suppose 10, sorry, 5, 10, 15, something like this. Then there is 20, then 15, then 10. 20, 15, 10. Then there is another example. 5, 10, 15, 30, 15, 10. Those are two cases. Case number 1 and case number 2. මොකක්ද ඕකෙන්? Directly proportional, sorry, indirect proportional. So in both cases, when x increases, y decreases, no? When x increases, y decreases, no? So when one physical quantity increases, the other decreases. Okay. So among these two cases, what is the indirectly proportional one? Is it case 1? Is it case 2? Or both cases? මොකද්ද මේ දෙකෙන් indirectly proportional වෙන්නේ? Case 1 ද case 2 ද ඔය දෙකම?
Case 2. Case 2.
Case 2.
Yes.
Why?
Because when 5 is increasing from 5 to 10, 30 is decreasing from 30 to
Okay. Others? අනිත් ඒවා මොකද කියන්නේ? Case 1 ද 2 ද? But look at case 1.
That's the case one.
X decreases by 5 by 5, no? X increases by 5 by 5. And Y decreases also, Y decreases by 5 by 5. So, පහෙන් පාතම මෙයා increase වෙලා තියෙන්නේ, මෙයා පහෙන් පාතම decrease වෙලා තියෙන්නේ.
Case one, sir.
Huh?
Case one, sir.
Case 1.
Yes.
Others? No. In this case, the indirect proportional one is case 2. Case 2, not case 1. Not case 1. Because the definition of indirect proportionality is if the product of any two physical quantities is constant, then those physical quantities are said to be indirectly proportional to each other. Indirectly proportional to each other. The definition of direct proportionality is the ratio is a constant. The ratio is a constant. This is the product is a constant. Multiplication is a constant. Okay. Then තේරුණාද? ඔන්නෝක තමයි all සහ L තියෙන difference එක. ඔයගලන්ට all වල ඕනි ගානක් හදන්න පුළුවන් පුතේ. ඕනි question එකක් හදන්න පුළුවන් without the definition. Definition එක තිබ්බත් එකයි නැතත් එකයි ඔයගලන්ට ගාන හදන්න පුළුවන්. හරිද? හේතුව මේ question එක හදන විදිය ඔයගොල්ලෝ practice වුණොත් එන්නේ practice එක use කරලා ගාන හදන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් අපිට A level වලට එනකොට ඔක කරන්න බෑ. A level වලදී අපි හරීම definitions ටික අපි ඔළුවේ තියෙන්න ඕනි අපිට question එකක් කරන්න. හරිද? ඒකම මේ හරීම definitions අහන්න. දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ කෙනෙක්ටවත් මේ definition එක ඔළුවේ තිබුණ නැහැ කියලා indirect proportional එක ගණන් හැදුවේ නැද්ද ඕගොල්ලෝ? human days එකම හැදුවා නේද? human days එකම හැදුවා නේද? human days හදද්දි මේ definition එක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඕන නැද්ද? තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනි නැතු වුණාට ගණන් හදන්න ඕන නැතු වුණාට මෙහෙම definition එකක් තිබ්බා. හරිද? ඒක ඕගොල්ලන්ට ඕන වුණ නැහැ පුතේ ඕල වලදී. හරිද? මොකද ඕල වලට ඒල තියෙන questions අපිට definition එක base කරලා එන questions නෙවෙයි. නමුත් A level වලදී අපිට එහෙම කරන්න බෑ. හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න අපිට A level වලට එන questions වලට අපි හරියම definition එක ඔළුවේ තියෙන්න ඕනේ. මේක මෙතනදි විතරක් නෙවෙයි ඉස්සරහට එන හැම unit එකකටම දාලා. ඉස්සරහ එන හැම unit එකකටම දාලා මම ඒක ඕගොල්ලෝ මේ විදිහට practice කරන්නේ. මම ඒකයි ඕගොල්ලන්ට හැම වෙලේම question එකක් කරනකොට facts ටික නැත්තම් logics ටික ලියන්න කියලා කියන්නේ. මම අර ගියපාර අර ඕගොල්ලන්ට questions ටික කරනකොට ඕගොල්ලන් ලව්ව ලියුවා ඒ logics ටික. ඒ logics ටික ලියවන්න main reason එක පුතේ ඒක. මොකද logic එක ළමෙක් දන්නවා කියන්නේ ඒ ළමයා හරියම definition එක දන්නවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒ ළමයාට ඕනි ගානක් හදන්න පුළුවන් මොන විදිහද දුන්නත් ඒ ළමයා හරියට train වෙලා තියෙනවා නා. හරිද? මොකද ඒ ළමයාට ආයි වරද්දන්න ටිකක් අමාරුයි. හරිද? ඒක නිසා තමයි මම හැම වෙලේම මේ definitions වලින්ම යන්නේ. ඒක තමයි A level ගොඩ දාගන්න තියෙන එකම විදිය. කොච්චර කොහම කිව්වත් ගොඩ දාගන්න තියෙන එකම විදිය ඒක. හරිද? ඒ නිසා හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න අපේ මේ යන විදිය. හරිද? හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න පුතේ. ඒ කරන දේ අනිවාර්යෙන් හරියම definition එක ඔළුවේ තියෙනවා. හරි? හොඳයි. So what is the definition of indirect proportionality? Indirect proportionality is the product of any two physical quantities is a constant, then they will be indirectly proportional to each other. Okay. Okay. Shall we write that one? The second subtopic is indirect proportionality. Indirect proportionality. Second subtopic. Okay. Right under that topic. Right under that topic. Topic is indirect proportionality. Right under that topic. If the product of if the product of two physical quantities is a constant those physical quantities will be indirectly proportional to each other. Okay, you can write case 1 and case 2. You can write case 1 and case 2. Case 1 and case 2. XY. XY product. XY product. In here, in all the cases, the product is equal to 150. 150. In here, 100, 150, 150. No? So therefore, in case number 2, X, Y product is a constant. It's a constant. It's a constant. That means the case number 2, they are indirectly proportional. Therefore, in case 2, X indirectly proportional to Y. Okay. Okay. May mamakan na. Shall I erase this one?
1 second.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Buddha. We can write this indirect proportionality using symbolic method like this in this way. If x indirectly proportional to y, then I can write it as this way. So this is the symbolic way to represent an indirect proportionality. So this is the symbolic way to represent an indirect proportionality. So if we have this kind of proportion, this kind of relationship, that means x indirectly proportional to y. X indirectly proportional to y. The meaning of this one is this entire thing is x indirectly proportional to y. So that is the meaning of this relationship. There is a meaning of this relationship. So this is a relationship, Puta. So this relationship can be converted into an equation using the definition of their relationship. Okay. So this is the relationship. We can convert that relationship into an equation. So how to convert them? I can use the definition. So what is the definition? If x indirectly proportional to y, then the product of those two physical quantities should be a constant. Product means multiplication of those two physical quantities should be a constant. So there is a relationship. This relationship has been converted into an equation using their definition. Okay. So k is a constant. K is a constant. So if we have this kind of relationship, we can convert that relationship into an equation. Sorry. So this is the definition. So I can subject text. If I subject x, I have to bring this y to this side. So I can write this one k into 1 over y. So I have subject this one, Puta. So actually, this is something like I have replaced this proportional mark by equal and constant symbol, no? හරියට මේ proportional mark එක මම equal සහ constant එකකින් replace කරා වගේ වැඩක් මේ කරලා තියෙන්නේ. හරි. So if we have this kind of relationship, Puta, if x indirectly proportional y, I can convert that relationship into an equation using its definition. Using its definition. So I can replace this proportional mark by using equal and constant symbol. Actually, I have used the definition. Okay, මම මේ definition එක use කරලා තියෙන්නේ මේක විතරක් කඩපාඩම් කරන්න එපා. මම මේ definition එක use කරේ. හොඳේ. ඒක නිසා හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න මම use කරපු දේ. හරිද? So this is how I convert a relationship into a equation, into an equation. So this K symbol, this K mark is the constant of proportionality. This is the constant of proportionality. Constant of proportionality. Okay, look at this again. Look at this again. So if I have this kind of relationship, that means indirectly proportionality. I can write that relationship as a symbolic way, like this. So if there is this kind of symbol, I cannot deal with that one. So I can convert that relationship into an equation using the definition of indirect proportionality. So if I have this kind of relationship, I can convert that relationship into an equation in this way. Okay. Okay. Right under that table. Right under the table. If two physical quantities are indirectly proportional, if two physical quantities are indirectly proportional, if two physical quantities are indirectly proportional to each other, we can symbolically represent that thing. We can symbolically represent that as follows. We can symbolically represent that as follows. Okay, you can write this one. You can write this one. Okay. Okay. Now we have get some understanding about direct proportionality and indirect proportionality. Direct proportionality and indirect proportionality. So, what is our objective? What is our objective? In this application, what is our objective? We have to build a relationship. We have to build a relationship. That means an equation between some given physical quantities. Suppose we are given two or three physical quantities, and we are asked to build a relationship. That means we have to build an equation between them. Okay, that is my objective. Okay, suppose we are given force, mass, and acceleration. We are given force, mass, and acceleration, and we are asked to build a relationship between those three physical quantities. If we are asked to build a relationship between those physical quantities, that means we have to build an equation. Okay? මේකෙදි අපි කරන්නේ equation එකක් build කරන එක තමයි කරන්නේ පුතේ. Okay? So, if we are asked to find if you are asked to build a relationship, that means we have to build an equation. So in these two examples, that means directly proportionality and indirectly proportionality, directly proportional. හොඳට අහගන්න මම මේ කියන තර්කේ, මම මේ කියන logic එක. So we have deal with directly proportionality and indirect proportionality. If it is directly proportional, that means we know the relationship between x and y. We know the relationship between x and y. When x increases, y increases. That means the ratio between x and y is a constant. We know the relationship between those two. X directly proportional to y. That is the relationship. If we know the relationship, I can convert this relationship into an equation using the definition of them. So if it is a directly proportionality, I can write this one is equal ky. Then so ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට දීලා තියෙන physical quantities දෙක අතර තියෙන direct proportionality එකක් නම් අපිට කෙලින්ම equation එකක් build කරන්න පුළුවන් x equal ky කියලා. තේරෙනවද? ඒක තමයි මේකේ basic එක. Okay? So if the relationship between the given physical quantities is a directly proportional one, we can convert that relationship into an equation. Okay? Because we know the definition. We know the definition of directly proportionality. If the relationship between the given physical quantities is an indirectly proportional one, it's an indirect proportionality, we can build a relationship. We can convert this relationship into an equation. X equal k into 1 over y. Okay, we can use both this relationship to build a equation. Okay, so if the given physical quantities are directly proportional, we can use this method to build a equation. Actually, these two relationships can be taken as one, because suppose this one 1 over y, x indirectly proportional, y means If x indirectly proportional to y means I can bring this y to the numerator. I can bring this y to the numerator. So if I bring this y to numerator, I can write this one x proportional to y to the power minus 1. Y to the power minus 1. That means x directly proportional y to the power minus 1. X directly proportional y to the power minus 1. X indirectly proportional to y. X indirectly proportional to y. But we can write this one x directly proportional y to the power minus 1. So x over y to the power minus 1 is a constant. It's a constant. Therefore, again, මට මේ indirect proportionality එක direct proportionality එකක් විදිහටම consider කරන්න පුළුවන්. මෙතන power එක minus 1 වුණා කියලා හිතලා. ඒක තමයි මේකේ තේරුම. තේරෙනවද? So I can consider an indirect proportionality. I can consider an indirect proportionality as a direct proportionality using this power. Okay. X indirectly proportional to y means I can bring this y to the numerator, so it will be y to the power minus 1. So that means x directly proportional y to the power minus 1. Directly proportional y to the power minus 1. So I don't want to consider two relationships. I can deal with one relationship after this two. තේරුණාද? Do you understand? Everyone? තේරුණාද පුතේ? Good. Others? If you need any further clarification, I can give a further explanation. Okay, I can give an explanation. Okay, very good. Okay, so now my objective is building an equation. Okay, I can build an equation if I know the relationship between two physical quantities. If it is a directly proportional one, I can directly convert the relationship into an equation. If it is an indirectly proportional one, I can directly convert that relationship into an equation. Okay, that is the way of building a relationship. Building a relationship means making an equation. Okay, that is the way. Okay, first thing we have to consider the given physical quantities. First we have to consider the given physical quantities, and we have to determine what is the relationship between these two physical quantities. What is the relationship? So if it is a directly proportional relationship, I can use that relationship to convert it to an equation. අපි මුලින්ම decide කරන්න ඕනේ මොකක්ද ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ relationship එක මොකක්ද කියලා decide කරගන්න ඕනේ. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ relationship එක directly proportionality එකක් නම් අපිට කෙලින්ම එයාව equation එකක් බවට convert කරන්න පුළුවන්. හරි? Okay. As example, suppose we are given the physical quantity force. And it is given F directly proportional to m, that's mass, and directly proportional to acceleration. It is given F directly proportional to mass and directly proportional to a. Okay, so we are asked to build a relationship between these three physical quantities. Okay, Okay. So we are given the force is directly proportional to mass. Force is directly proportional to mass. So I can write that one F directly proportional to mass. Directly proportional to mass. The second data is F directly proportional to A. F directly proportional to A. F directly proportional to A. So look at this one. Look at this. Look at this one. F directly proportional to M. F directly proportional to A. That means F should be directly proportional to MA. MA. F directly proportional to MA. Okay. බලමු එක කොහොමද වෙන්නේ කියලා. So F directly proportional to M. F directly proportional to M means when M increases, F also increases. F directly proportional to A means when A increases, F increases too. Okay, F increases too. Keeping the ratio constant. Okay, ratio constant තියාගෙන increase. So I can combine these two proportionality as this way. F directly proportional to the product of MA. Look at this one. When M increases, M increases, F also increases, no? F also increases. When A increases, F also increases. F also increases. So if there are two relationships, we can combine these two relationships in this way. Okay. This is not an equation. Make equation එකක් නෙමෙයි මේක relationship එකක් පුතේ. ඒක නිසා දැන් හිතන්න එපා මම මෙයයි මේ multiply කරා කියලා. multiply කරාට පස්සේ මෙතන f² දෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙම හිතන්න එපා. මොකද මෙතන equation එකක් නෙවෙයි මේ තියෙන්නේ relationship එකක්. හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න මේ relationship එක මම ලියුවේ. Not an equation. Okay. I just write a relationship, not an equation. Okay. So if F directly proportional to M and F directly proportional to A, that means F directly proportional to MA product. MA product. Okay. Make it now. Prove කරන්න ඕනේද? Prove කරන්න ඕනේද? Everyone, did you get this one? බලන්න. මේකෙන් වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? මේකෙන් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? If F directly proportional to M, that means F over M is a constant. F over M is a constant. Okay. F over M is a constant. If F directly proportional to A, that means F over A is a constant too. K1 and K2. Okay. Okay. Look at this one. Now I can take this. F over MA. If F over MA. I can write this ratio. Okay. Suppose if A is a constant. Suppose if A is a constant. A එක constant එකක් වුණොත් ඒක constant නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ? F over MA. F over MA is a constant, no? මේක constant එකක්. A එක constant එකක් නම් F over M කියලා කියන්නේ constant එකක්. මොකද F over M කියලා කියන්නේ constant. F over M කියලා කියන්නේ constant එකක්. එතකොට A එක constant එකක් නම් F over MA කියලා කියන්නේ constant එකක්. තේරුණාද? හයි කියන්න. බලන්න. F over MA, I can write this one F over M into 1 over A. F over M into 1 over A. You know, according to previous example, previous relationship, F over M is a constant. This 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 is a constant. So if A is a constant, 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 then මෙයත් constant එකක් වුණොත් අනිවාර්යෙන් මේ තනිකර entire term එකම constant එකක් වෙනවා. හරිද? entire term එකම constant එකක් වෙනවා. හරිද?
So why is M a constant?
Okay, I will explain. Okay. Then suppose this one. Suppose now I consider F over A. Now I consider F over A and 1 over M. 1 over M. The first thing for the first case, I have considered F over M and 1 over A. Now I consider F over A and 1 over M. මේ equations ඔක්කොම එකයිනේ. මේ F over M කියන එක මට ලියන්න පුළුවන් F over M into 1 over A. ඒ වගේම F over M කියන එක මට ලියන්න පුළුවන් F over A into 1 over M. හරි. දැන් මෙතන බලන්න මම දන්නා මෙයා constant එකක් කියලා. I know this is a constant. I know this is a constant. So if M is a constant, M එක constant වුණොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? අනිවාර්යයෙන් මේ product එක constant වෙනව නේද? පැහැදිලිද? A එක constant වුණොත් මේ මුළු product එකම constant වෙනවා. M එක constant වුණත් මේ මුළු ratio එකම constant වෙනවා. තේරුණාද? පැහැදිලිද? ආ කියන්න. මේ බලන්න. ආයෙම ලියනවා. F over MA. F over MA. I can write this one. First thing F over M into 1 over A. ඔන්න මම ලියුවා. This is the first string. Then I can write this one F over A. F over A into 1 over M. F over A into 1 over M. හරිද? හරිද මං කරා? මේ ඔක්කොම එකයි නේද?
Yes.
හරි. මතක තියාගන්න අපි මොකක් හරි මේ වගේ එකක් මේ මොකක් හරි physical quantities දෙයක් වෙනස් කරනකොට physical quantities දෙයක් වෙනස් කරනකොට ඒ දෙන්නගේ relationship එක බලන්න physical quantities දෙයක් වෙනස් කරනකොට පුතේ අනිත් හැම physical quantity එකම මම constant තියාගන්න ඕනේ. තේරුණාද? මම physical quantities දෙයක් අතර relationship එක බලද්දී හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න මම F සහ M අතර relationship එක බලද්දී ඒ දෙන්නගේ relationship එක මොකක්ද කියලා බලන්න අනිත්‍යව constant තියාගෙන තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ වෙනස් කරන්න ඕනේ. නැත්නම් ප්‍රශ්නයක් අනිත්‍යවත් වෙනස් වුණොත් තේරෙනවද? ඒක නිසා එතකොට අර දෙන්නගේ relationship එක පේන්නේ නැහැනේ. තේරෙනවද? ඒ දෙන්නගේ relationship එක බලන්න නම් ඉතුරු ඒවා constant වෙලාවෙදි තමයි ඒ දෙන්න වෙනස් කරන්න ඕනේ. තේරෙනවද? ඒක නිසා මට M සහ F අතර relationship එක බලන්න ඕන නම් මම A constant තියාගන්න ඕන. මට F සහ A අතර relationship එක බලන්න ඕන නම් මම M constant තියාගන්න. තේරෙනවද? So if I want to find the relationship between F and M, I have to keep A constant. I have to keep A constant. Otherwise, it will be meaningless, no? How to find a relationship? Okay. If I want to find a relationship between two physical quantities, I have to keep all the other physical quantities as constant. Then I can vary, I can change one physical quantity and get the relationship between these two physical quantities. Okay. Then if I want to find the relationship between A and F, I have to keep M as a constant. I have to keep M as a constant and change A and get the value of F. තේරුණාද කරන්න වැඩි? තේරුණාද කරන්න වැඩි?
Yes, sir. Got it, sir. Got it, sir. Yes. Got it, sir. Yes.
Sorry?
Got it, sir. Understood.
Okay. හොඳට බලාගන්න ආයි පාර. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙතන අපිට physical quantity සාමාන්‍ය දෙකකට වඩා තියෙනවා. දැන් F, M and A කියලා කියන්නේ physical quantities තුනක්. So we have more than two physical quantities. We have more than two physical quantities in here. Okay. So if I want to find a relationship between two physical quantities, if M මේක හරියට නිකන් අර ඕගොල්ලෝ අර මේ අපි ඔය grade 6 වගේ වෙලා තියෙන අපි ඔය කරන්නේ ඔය මේ science වලට practicals නේද? science වලට practicals කරන්නේ මොකද්ද ඔය අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම මේ මොකක් හරි මොකද්ද මට ඔළුවට එන්නේ නැහැ වගේ practicals අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම නිකන් හිතන්නකෝ මොකක් හරි දෙයකට effect වෙන factors ටික හොයනවා කියලා. මොකක් හරි දෙයකට effect වෙන factors ටික හොයනවා නම් ඉතුරු factors ටික constant තියාගෙන අපි අර දෙක වෙනස් කරන්නේ නේද? දැන් අපි හිතුවොත් එහෙම මේ නිකන් හිතන්න අපි ඔය අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම අපි අර මේ මතකද අපි ඔය 6 වසර විතර grade 6 වලදී කරනවා අර මේ ඔය තනකොළ ටිකක් අපි පොල් කට්ටකින් වහලා තියෙනවා. තනකොළ ටික පොල් කට්ටකින් වහලා තියලා ටිකක් වෙලා ගියාට පස්සේ ටික දවසක් ගියාට පස්සේ තනකොළ ටික මොකද වෙන්නේ? අර green color එක yellow color වලටපත් වෙලා තියෙනවා නේද? එතනදී අපි මේ තනකොළ වලට දුන්නේ නැත්තේ මේ ඉරේලිය විතරයි. ඊටු ඔක්කොම ටික දුන්නා. ඉරේලිය විතරක් දුන්නේ නැහැ. ඉරේලිය විතරක් දුන්නේ නැතුව බැලුවා ඉරේලියයි ඒ තනකොළ වලයි ඒ අතර තියෙන රිලේෂන්ෂිප් එක. හරිද? ඒ වගේ තමයි පුතේ මෙතන. දැන් වාට F M and A අතර රිලේෂන්ෂිප් එක බලන්න ඕන නම් එතනදී වාට F සහ M අතර රිලේෂන්ෂිප් එක බලන්න ඕන නම් වා A කොන්ස්ටන්ට් තියා ගන්න ඕනේ. A වෙනස් කරන්න බෑ. මෙයා වෙනස් වුණොත් මෙයාත් නිසා මෙයා වෙනස් වෙනවනේ. තේරෙනවද? මෙයා නිසා මෙයා වෙනස් කරන්න බෑ. ඒක නිසා මෙයා කොන්ස්ටන්ට් තියාගෙන මෙයා වෙනස් කරන්න ඕනේ. මෙයා වෙනස් කර බලන්න ඕනේ. මෙයා රිලේෂන්ෂිප් එක මොකද්ද මෙයාගේ තියෙන රිලේෂන්ෂිප් එක. හරි. ඊළඟට මේ දෙන්න අතර රිලේෂන්ෂිප් එක බලන්න ඕන නම් ඔයා මෙයාව කොන්ස්ටන්ට් තියාගන්න ඕනේ. මෙයාව කොන්ස්ටන්ට් තියාගෙන මේ දෙන්න අතර රිලේෂන්ෂිප් එක බලන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට මෙයාගේ එෆෙක්ට් එකක් නෑ මෙයාට. තනිකරම එෆෙක්ට් එක තියෙන්නේ මෙයාගෙන් විතරයි. තේරෙනවද? තේරුණාද?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Others?
Yes, sir. So
Okay,
we
sir.
can consider F as a constant as well, no, sir. In the same case,
Sorry? I cannot hear you.
if we can consider F as a constant as well, no, sir. Because F doesn't change, no, like
Sorry?
in the same case, if we put M and A, mass and
Mhm.
acceleration, into the same case and consider F as one constant, we can do that as well, no?
Wait a minute. But can you tell me again?
In this case, sir, like can't we consider F as a constant as well?
wait. Okay, can you tell me the question?
No, sir, I was thinking like, can't we consider f as a constant as well? Like,
Okay,
if f equals ma over k, something like that.
sorry.
I don't know if it's correct. So
Hmm?
I'm not sure if this is correct. Like, I'm thinking like, why can't we think that f is a constant as well?
No,
I'm
no, no.
just like asking.
මෙතන මෙහෙමයි වෙන්නේ. Okay. Suppose there is a huge stone. Okay, there is a huge stone. I have to give a force to roll this stone. Okay. Okay. Suppose if I want to find the relationship between f and m, if I want to find the relationship between f and m, I have to change m only. That means I have to change the weight only. Suppose there is a small stone, then I have to put very small force to move that stone. And when the mass of that stone increases, I have to apply more and more force to move that stone. More and more force to move that stone. So I can say when m increases, f also increases. Okay. But to find the relationship between m and f and m, I had to keep a as a constant. Because suppose this one. හිතන්න මෙහෙම මට මෙයාව තල්ලු කරන්න දෙන ෆෝස් එකයි මෙයාව මොකක් හරි ඇක්සලරේෂන් එකකින් විසික් කරන්න දෙන ෆෝස් එකයි පුතේ දෙකක් නේද? තල්ලු කරන්න දෙන ෆෝස් එකයි මම මෙහෙම විසික් කරන්න දෙන ෆෝස් එකයි දෙකක් නේ. හරිද? එතකොට මම ඇක්සලරේෂන් එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා හිතුවොත් එයාට වැඩිපුර ෆෝස් එකක් දෙන්න ඕනේ. හරිද? ඇක්සලරේෂන් එක නැතුව මම නිකන් මේ තල්ලු කරනවා කියලා විතරක් හිතුවොත් අනිවාර්යෙන් මෙයාගේ මේ මෑස් එකත් එක්ක විතරයි මෙයා ඩිපෙන්ඩ් වෙන්නේ. හරිද? තේරුණාද ඒක?
Yeah, sir. Yeah. Understood.
So because if I change both physical quantities, so f will be changed according to both physical quantities. But if I want to find the relationship between two physical quantities, I have to keep all the other physical quantities as constant. Because otherwise, the other physical quantity can be affected to the relationship. අනිවාර්යෙන් එයා effect වෙනවනේ. effect එක නැති කරන්න තමයි මම මෙයාම constant එකක් තියාගන්නේ. එතකොට m වෙනස් කරනකොට f වෙනස් වෙනවා. Okay. That is the way of finding relationship between two physical quantities. Okay. If you want to find the relationship between two physical quantities, the first thing you have to determine what are the physical quantities affected to the considered physical quantity. That means if you want to find the factors affecting to force, the first thing you have to determine all the factors affecting to force. In this case, mass and F, mass and A, mass and acceleration. That is the first thing. After that one, you have to keep mass as a constant. Then you can change acceleration and find what is the way of changing force. Then you can keep force as acceleration as a constant. You can change mass and you can determine what is the way of changing force. තේරුණාද?
Yeah, sir.
okay මේක තමයි prove කරන්න තියෙන exam එක. ඒක නිසා බලන්න ඔයාට මේ දෙන්න අතර රිලේෂන්ෂිප් එක බලන්න ඕන නම් ඔයා මෙයාව constant තියාගන්න ඕනි. මෙයාව constant තියාගත්තොත් මම දන්නවා මේ දෙකේ ratio එක constant නේ. එතකොට මේ දෙක ඔයා බලන්න ඕන නම් මෙයාව constant තියාගන්න ඕනි. එතකොට ඔයාට පේනවා මේ දෙක වෙනස් කරොත් ආයසරයක් යත් constant. ආයසරයක් යත් constant. ඒ කියන්නේ F/ma කියන එක මට constant කියලා ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ. මෙතනත් constant මෙතනත් constant. F/ma කියන එක constant එකක් විදිහට මට ගන්න පුළුවන්. හරිද? ඒ කියන්නේ F කියන එක M and A ගේ product එකකට directly proportional වෙනවා. directly proportional වෙනවා. හරිද? මේක ගත්ත විදිය තේරුණාද? මේක ගත්ත විදිය තේරුම් නැත්නම් ඒක හොඳට මතක තියාගෙන ඔයාලා self study කරන්න ආයශරයක් ඕනනම් මම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට explain කරන්නම්. හැබැයි හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න මේක ඔයාලට ඔළුවට යන්නේ නැත්නම් ලොකුවට ඒක ඇතුලේ යන්න එපා. ලොකුවට ඒක ඇතුලේ යන්න එපා. ඔළුවට යන්නේ නැත්නම් මොකද ඕගොල්ලන්ට questions ටිකක් කරනකොට ඔක ආයශරයක් මේක හරියටම තේරෙනවා. questions ටිකක් කරනකොට හරියටම තේරෙනවා. නැත්නම් ආයශරයක් අර question එක කරන්න කලින් ඔළුවට යන්න නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. තේරුණාද මොකද්ද මේ කරේ කියලා? everyone. Okay. Very good. Okay. Okay, Uti. So that means if F directly proportional to M and F directly proportional to A, I can write F directly proportional to the product of these two physical quantities. The product of these two physical quantities. The product of these two physical quantities. Okay. Now I find the relationship between these three physical quantities. F directly proportional to MA product. That is a relationship. If I find that relationship, I can convert that relationship into an equation using the definition of that relationship. So F is equal to K into MA. So that is the equation between these three physical quantities. So if I know the value of proportionality constant, if I know the value of K, I can write this equation as a general equation, as a usable equation. Because if I don't know the value of K, this is not a usable equation. So if I know the value of K, I can write this equation as a usable equation. Okay. Okay. හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න ආයි පාරක් මේක හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න. මෙන්න මේක ගත්තේ පුතේ relationship එකකින් මිසක් අර equation එකකින් කියන දේ නෙවෙයි කියන එක. So this is a relationship, not an equation. So I am not multiplying each side. Okay. I am not multiplying each side. Actually, this is a relationship. If F directly proportional to M and F directly proportional to A, I can write F directly proportional to MA product. You can simply understand this thing as in this way. When M is increasing, when M increases, F also increases. When A increases, F also increases. F also increases. That means if MA product increases, MA product can be increased by increasing M or A. By increasing M or A. Okay. So if MA product increases, F also increases. So F directly proportional to MA product. I can write that one. Okay. You can simply understand that one. But the proof is something I have given you previously. Okay. Okay, so that is the way of determination of equation. Okay, but the thing is, in this case, we have to find the value of k in order to make this equation as a usable equation. Okay.
Excuse me,
Suppose,
sir.
sorry.
So, in that first line, if is proportional to the indirectly, no, to m,
Sorry.
it's proportional to m indirectly, no.
Yeah.
F is proportional to m indirectly, no, so shouldn't m be under like 1 over m? Shouldn't it be 1 over m?
No, Muta. Both may not indirectly, directly.
Okay, okay.
Directly. F directly proportional to m. F directly proportional to a, Puta. Okay. Directly proportional. Okay. The
Okay,
ratio
sir.
is a constant. Ratio is a constant. That's why I write this one as the product. The product of these two is directly proportional to f. Okay. Okay. Suppose මේක දැන් අපි මේ දන්න එකක් නේ f equal m කියන්නේ. Suppose we are given a special cases. Okay. Suppose this is an square. This is a square. This is a square. Okay. And the area of square is A, and the side length is equal L. And we are asked to find the relationship, asked to build a relationship between L and A. So the given data is A directly proportional. Sorry, no, not directly proportional. A is an area, and L is the side length. That is the given data. We have to build a relationship between A and L. That is my objective. So, how to build a relationship? So in this case, if you want to find a relation, if you want to determine a relationship between L and A, you have to change one thing and find the value of other. You have to change one physical quantity and observe the change of the other. In this case, we have to change length. We cannot change area. No. We have to change length. Once we change the length, then area will be changed. මෙතනදී අපිට වෙනස් කරන්න තියෙන මේ ෆැක්ටර් එක මොකක්ද? L. L කියන එක වෙනස් කරොත් තමයි A කියන එක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ. හරිද? ඒ නිසා L වෙනස් කර කර බලන්න වෙනවා Aට මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා. හරිද? Then you have to change L and get the value of A. Then you can build a relationship between these two. If it is a directly proportional relationship, then I can convert that relationship into an equation. Okay. Look at this. L. If L is 1, A is 1. Okay. Suppose I can measure the area. Okay. I can measure the area. Otherwise, there is a problem how to find area. No. Area එක කොහොමද හිවි කියලා හරි. area එක measure කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා හිතන්න මොකක් හරි machine එකකින්. හරිද? නැත්නම් area එක හොයන්න ආයෙසරක් L square ඕනේ කියලා හිතයිනේ. එහෙම හිතන්න එපා. L එක මොකක් හරි machine එකකින් measure කරනවා කියලා හිතන්න. හරි? Okay. When L is 1, A is 1. L is 2, A is 4. L is 3, A is 9. Look at this. When L increases, A increases 2, but the ratio between A and L is not a constant, So I cannot say L and A are directly proportional. I cannot say. In this case, I cannot say, Puta, L directly proportional to A. No. But the thing is, when L increases, A increases. When L increases, A also increases. No. When L increases, if the L increases, A decreases, then I can say it may be a indirectly proportional relationship. But in this case, when A increases, L increases, A also increases. So, but the thing is, the ratio between these two is not a constant. The ratio between these two is not a constant. So, I cannot say A directly proportional to L. I cannot say. But I can assume one thing. Because as L increases, A increases too. As A increases, L increases too. I can say A can be directly proportional to L to the power X. I don't know that X value, but some value of some power of X. So power of L. The some power of L can be proportional to, can be directly proportional to it. I can assume this one. So this is an assumption. Okay. I assume L to the power X is directly proportional to A. I assume L to the power X directly proportional to A. So if it is directly proportional to A, then I convert this thing to a equation. This is my assumption. What is the assumption? I assume A is directly proportional L to the power X. I don't know X. So if this is an assumption, so if it is directly proportional, then I convert this relationship into an equation. That is my argument, Puta. That is my argument. What is my argument? I assume one physical quantity is directly proportional to the other, some power of other physical quantity. So according to that assumption, I can convert that thing into an equation. That is my logic. That is my argument. So if I want to find the real equation, I have to calculate this thing and this thing. If I can calculate this thing and this thing, then there will be the equation. No? තේරුණාද? තේරුණාද logic එක? Everyone, do you understand the logic? Did you understand the logic? Very good. Others? තේරුණ නැත්නම් කියන්න මම අසල කියන්න.
Yes, we understood.
Okay, very good. So what is my logic, Puda? Again, what is my logic is I have to build a relationship between A and L. I have to build a relationship. Means I have to build an equation between A and L. Then I assume A is directly proportional to the some power of L. That is my assumption. If I assume this one, I can convert this into equation. Yes. Now I have an equation. Now I have an equation. But the thing is, in this equation, there are some unknown factors, unknown quantities. What are those quantities? X and K. Those are the unknown quantities in this equation. So somehow, if I can find those unknown factors, then there will be the equation. There will be the equation. Then now, in this case, I can use dimensional analysis to find this value. Find this value. Okay, I can find X value using dimensional analysis, but I cannot find K value. But I cannot find K value using dimensional analysis. That value should be given. That value should be given. So normally, if there is a question like this, we are given the value of proportional constant. We are given the value of proportional constant. So if we are given the value of proportional constant, now there are only one thing to determine, that is X. That is X. We can find X using dimensional analysis. Okay. In this case, if we are given the value of K, so suppose the value of K is given as 1. Value of K is given as 1. Suppose value of K is given as 1. So I can write the area is equal L to the power X. L to the power X. L to the power X. So now I can, this is an equation, Puta. Now this is an equation. So if it is an equation, the dimension of left-hand side should be equal to the dimension of right-hand side. That is my next argument. So if it is an equation, the dimension of left-hand side, if it is an equation, so if it is an equation, the dimension of LHS should be equal to the dimension of RHS. Dimension of RHS. So dimension of LHS means dimension of area. Dimension of area is equal dimension of length into X. L to the power X. So dimension of A. Now I know the dimension of A, that is equal L squared, no? That is equal L squared. So this one is equal L squared. This one is equal L to the power X. Now there is an equation. In that equation, LHS have a base of L. RHS have a base of L. Both have same bases. Both sides have same bases. So if the base is equal, you know this is the equation. No? You know this is the equation. In this equation, there are two bases. Both have same base. So both have same base. If the base is equal, the power should also equal. Power should also equal. Okay. So in an equation, same base should have same powers. Same bases should have same powers. So I can equate in powers of same bases. I can equate in power of same bases. That is a way of determining X. So equating powers of same bases, in this case L. Left hand side there is 2, right hand side x. So x should be equal to 2. X should be equal to 2. Now I have determined x using dimensional analysis. Now I have determined x using dimensional analysis. Then I can write the equation. Then I can write the equation a is equal to L to the power 2. Terunad? Did you understand? Everyone? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Others? Good. Others? Okay. Okay.
Understood. Yes.
All right. Okay. හරි. හොඳ. එහෙම වුණොත් අපි මෙහෙම නෝට් එකක් දාගමු. right, topic, subtopic. Building a relationship, building an equation, building an equation, building an equation, building an equation between given physical quantities, between given physical quantities. Under that topic, suppose we have to build an equation between the area and the side length of a square. Okay. Write in a new paragraph. So in this case, we will do an assumption. We will do an assumption. We will do an assumption. We assume the area is directly proportional to some power of length. You can write this one, the first line, only first line. A directly proportional L to the power x. That is the assumption. So we can convert this relationship. Into an equation. කියලා යටින් මේක ලියා ගන්න. A equal A L to the power x. L to the power x. L to the power x. So යටින් ලියන්න යටින්. So if we know the value of k and x, we can build an equation. We can build an equation. Write in a new paragraph. we cannot determine the value of proportionality constant k. We cannot determine the value of the proportionality constant k. It should be given in the question. It should be given in the question. If it is given, we can use dimensional analysis. To determine x. මේ ටික ලියා ගන්න පුතේ. Because Puta, we assume A is directly proportional L to the power x. That is my assumption. So if it is directly proportional to L to the power x, I can write A is equal K into L to the power x. K into L to the power x. So I have to find K and x to build the equation. In this case, we cannot determine K. That should be given. So if it is 1, I can write A is equal L to the power x. A is equal L to the power x. So this is an equation. This is an equation. If it is an equation, both sides should have same dimension. Both sides should have same dimension. So dimension of LHS should be equal dimension of RHS. Dimension of LHS mean dimension of area. Dimensions of RHS mean dimension of L to the power x. So dimension of area is equal L to the power 2. Dimension of L is a length, no? Length to the power x. So both have same bases. Both have same bases in this equation. So this is an equation. Both have same bases. So the powers of same bases in an equation should be equal. So I have to equate the powers of same bases. In this case, there's only one dimension, that is L. So in here I have equated the powers of L in both sides. In LHS it is 2, RHS it is x. So x should be equal to 2. X should be equal to 2. So if x is equal to 2, I can replace that value here. Then it will be the equation. තේරුණාද? Okay, others? Do you get my point, Puta?
Yes.
Very good. අද මේක ලියාගෙන කොහොමත් අපි next week එකේ මේක අපි questions කරනකොට ඕගොල්ලන්ට මම ආයෙත් කියා දෙනවා. එතකොට මේක හොඳටම තේරෙයි. අද question කරේ නෑනේ. අද theory part එක ලියාගන්න question කරනකොට මම ආයෙ පාරක් මේක කියා දෙනවා. හරි? Okay. ඉවරද ලියලා?
finished.
Okay. Very good. එහෙනම් අපිට අද class එක මෙතනින් ඉවර කරන්න පුළුවන් පුතේ. So now we can finish today's class. If anyone want more time, I'll be there. If you complete the writing, you can leave that one. Okay, you can leave. Okay. Goodbye. God bless you. Yeah, welcome to.